a sec. Good evening, soccer fans. We are at the George Brendler Field for the yearly matchup between Elizabethtown Lewis Lions and the Chazy Eagles, the Division II Northern Soccer League. Today is October 15th, 2012. And it is a beautiful evening for a soccer game. We've had some unsettled weather as of late, but it has turned out to be a fabulous evening for a soccer game. And Elizabethtown they are in second place, I believe, in Division II with 2 losses, and Chazy has coasted their way through, and we have an early goal off a restart. Here we are about Leah. You can't. You kill us here. Yeah, but it's rather obtrusive. But right there was a great start to the Chazy game here. 12 for 9. That was a Mr. Reynolds cueing one off his head from a restart from Mr. Botten. That was just about 45 seconds into this game, so Chazy is making an early statement here. They have basically roller coasted, I should say rolled over everybody in Division II. They have closest game has been like 3 goals against Lake Placid a couple of weeks ago, and they will be facing them tomorrow night. Right now we have Nelson Pelton for the Eagles fighting against number 24 for Brooks. And Brooks does a good job of getting rid of that. That goes up to number 9 Morris for the Lions. Morris doing some ball handling skills, and Chazy playing some good defense. And Barrier does a good job getting that ball back for the Eagles, and wisely and coolly passes back to Craig Botten. But that was a Calvin, I just must tell you, he just got here, so he just recorded that goal great goal by Reynolds off the restart from Botten. And Chazy doing some razzle-dazzle passing, and Justin Lapierre, who is a very fine goalkeeper in his own right, the junior keeper from Elizabethtown, comes up with that save. A sliding one off Brandon Lauren. And it goes off the foot of Drake, and Lauren comes up with the ball, and nice stop by 24 Brooks. Elizabethtown tries to get possession, but can't do a whole lot to do it. But number 13 Tompkins does a good job hustling and getting that ball. He's being challenged by Drew, and Tompkins puts on another good move. Good team defense by Giroux, and nice ball by Giroux going right into the middle to Reynolds. Reynolds got down on himself a little bit on that pass. That's not what he wanted to do, but it goes over the far side over to Chazy. Chazy trying to find Hayden Gay, and he does. And that's going to be a foul. Actually, it's going to be out of bounds on Chazy, and a quick throw in by Elizabethtown, who has tried to get this out of my mouth before Reynolds scored that early goal, and there's Bissonette off his line. But Elizabethtown has played very, very well on this field the last several years. They've had quite a few games go into overtime, including the last 2 playoff games here. So we expected that, and we still expect it, because Elizabethtown does not quit, coached by longtime coach Paul Bueller. And he does a good job with a Elizabethtown team, especially with you got to figure the number of players that Elizabethtown does have. They are down in numbers as far as their school enrollment, and they still bring a good game to the table. So that's credit to Coach Bueller. But Coach McCullough, a longtime coach for the Eagles with 5 state championships under his belt, and could have had several more, but he will take the 5. It's better than none. And this year the boys are on a mission. And that's a really nice service. And Bissonette trying to punch it out. He's come off his line. That could be, oh my, Morris just misses a kind of an open net. Chazy had a misplay. Bissonette, came off his line and kind of a misplay. But Chazy has to play a little bit better defense if they want to keep this game at a 0 as far as Elizabethtown goes. There's Botten with the direct kick. Chazy's very good in the air this year. Way, way better than they were last year. And it's very important. Good job by Drake against Morris. Nice job by the sophomore going down. He's being challenged by Brooks, and a nice move by Drake. Drake bumped out the ball, and they will be a advantageous spot again here for Chazy on a restart. We have 35-16 left in the first half. Chazy up 1-0 on a quick goal, probably about 45 seconds into this game. A nice restart from this man here, Botten, off the head of Reynolds. There's a good shot right there by Botten. It's handled cleanly by Justin Lapeer, the junior keeper. And Lapeer gets it out quickly, going up to Brody Hooper. When Hooper gets the ball, Chazy had better get bells and whistles going, because he is a prolific goal scorer for Elizabethtown, and probably I would have to say their MVP. He's been around. He is a senior this year, and it's been a pleasure to watch that young man and play for the last several years. Good player. And Justin Brothers trying to come up with that ball, goes off the foot of Morris, but Drake comes up with it for the Eagles. On the near side, Drake being challenged by Brooks. He gets by Brooks, and he's going to let that play on. Nice service by Drake, and that goes into the hands of Lapeer. And he's going to let his team get set up, let him move up a little bit. And he punts it out to the half field and off the chest of Reynolds and over to Justin Brothers, the senior stopper. Over to Drew, over to Pelton on the near side. Pelton has some space. He's being challenged on the backside by number 3, Turner, and Turner does a good job displacing Pelton from the ball. And Drew calmly gets it back to Botten, and Chazy will reset. And Botten blasts it in the middle, and Drake and Brooks going after it, but Lauren ends up with it, and a big clump of dirt does come up on the field. Nice ball from Lauren to Drake, and well defended by Elizabethtown and kicked out, but Justin Brothers for the Eagles gets it up to Lauren. Lauren with a nice nifty move on top of the box. Man slips, Lauren's inside. Oh, and it goes off. A great shot by Lauren, but it goes off the body of Lapeer, and Chazy still does retain possession. And again, it bounces around, and Lapeer for Elizabethtown comes up with the ball, and he is going to let his team set up once again. With 33 minutes left in the first half, Chazy is up 1-0. You're watching Hometown Cable, viewer-supported network. Off the head of Barrier, over here to the near side to Drew. Drew kind of a little too much weight on that pass, but Chazy does retain possession with Lauren doing so, and he's displaced from the ball by Huttig, and Morris fighting for the ball, and Lauren fighting for the ball, and goes up to the foot of Hooper. Hooper challenged by Chazy for the Eagles, and it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in for Elizabethtown. We have a substitution for Elizabethtown. Number 15, Cody Gowdy going in. And coming off, it looks like number 8, Caleb Denton. Early substitution for Coach Bueller's Lions. And they are in Chazy territory on the far side, and throw in. Hooper with a throw, and it goes off. Looks like Chazy is going to be another throw in for Elizabethtown inside the Chazy area on the far side. Kind of missed kick by Barrier, but luckily Chazy ends up with it with Reynolds, and he tries to get it outside, but kicked back in casually by Elizabethtown, and Bissonette for the Eagles picks it up. That's his team set up. Blast one right to the halfway line, and fighting for possession of both teams, and Lauren heads it into their zone. And good ball by Pelton, it looked like, and Drake being challenged by Noka Bailey, but he goes onto the ground, but Chazy still retains possession with Drew doing so. He goes to the center of the field, finding Reynolds. Reynolds on top of the box with a good shot, and a good save by Justin Lapeer. Chazy teeing off left and right against Elizabethtown in this early going. We have 31 minutes left in the first half. Chazy 1, Elizabethtown 0 in this important Northern Soccer League Division II game, and Drake trying to get the misplay, and Drake will be called for the foul against Brooks. And Chazy's kind of having their way at this early going, like I mentioned. Chazy loaded with seniors this year, so they do expect a whole bunch out of this team, and they have delivered as of yet in Division II in Northern Soccer League, undefeated. I think their closest game was a 3-goal game against Lake Placid a few weeks ago. They dismantled Elizabethtown earlier this year, 5-0. Here's Drake trying to get something going, being challenged, and Drake lets go his shot from distance, but it goes wide, and Lapeer is going to get that and set it up for a goal kick. And number 23 goes back on the net to the net to protect it, Noka Bailey. And Lapeer, let's go with a goal kick, and Reynolds heads it to nobody, but number 11 for Elizabethtown Morris gets a hold of it, but Drake comes up with the ball. And Hayden Gay on the far side, challenged by number 15 Gowdy. Gay with some good moves out there. Gay doing a good job, feeds it over to center to Barrier. Barrier keeps going to the center, over to Reynolds. Reynolds has some time being challenged by a couple of defenders, but Reynolds lets a shot go from distance, and he's not happy with himself for that effort, but not a bad shot from distance. And that's the 6th shot in this early going from the Eagles, and 1 shot for Elizabethtown with 29 minutes and 20 seconds left at the George Brendler Field. As mentioned, Elizabethtown has 2 losses, one to the Chazy Eagles earlier in the season and one just recently to the Northern Adirondack Bobcats. And that was a close game. I believe that was 2-1, so it was a very good game between those 2 teams. And headed from number 11 right on the foot of to Drake. And Pelton goes corner, finding Lauren. Lauren has some space, being challenged by number 11 Morris. Lauren has space trying to get something going, but Morris does a good job defending, and Lauren just goes back to Giroux. And Giroux kind of miskicks it a little bit, and he's not happy with himself either, but another goal kick for Elizabethtown in this early going. Justin Lapeer's been busy in the net. Off the head of number 3, Turner. Goes in the middle of the field. Hooper and Barrier going at it, and Reynolds comes up with the ball trying to fight a foot of Drake, and Drake still retains possession, does a great job sliding it over to Lauren. Lauren sliding over to the corner to Pelton. Chazy doing some good footwork, and Pelton being challenged by 24 Brooks, and Pelton with a nice service and a really good save by Justin Lapeer, because there was a couple of Chazy, and here goes Reynolds on top of the box. He's busting inside, and Reynolds goes wide, and he will make it 2-0 with 27:50 left in the first half. Chazy up 2-0 on 2 Nathan Reynolds goals. And Chazy's looking pretty good this evening, Calvin. Once again.
12 from 16.
Hayden Gay gets the assist. Some good work by Chazy getting that ball back. Mention the officials this evening. We have Todd Lambert and Larry Flashball Bayshard.
Deflected off green, white throw. Down there, though, down there.
2 long-time officials. And good ones at that. They have a pretty heavy game here. But Chazy retains possession with Lauren. Lauren looking for somebody, being challenged, and that ball does go out of bounds. And Giroux goes out the head on out the foot of Morris, and he's taken down, and it's going to be a pretty good spot here for Elizabethtown. Try to get something going here with 27 minutes left in the first half. Chazy up 2-0 on 2 beautiful Nathan Reynolds goals. The senior captain, I should say, he's had an exemplary career and a phenomenal season as for his senior year. And here's Charles Huddig. That's a nice ball by Elizabethtown and cleared out by Chazy very well. Good defending by the Eagles, and Lauren going up against the ball. Looks like against Hooper, but Drake. Actually, that would be number 14, Dedium, but Chazy retains possession with Hayden Gay doing so on the far side of the field. Hayden Gay trying to get past the defender, but it's well defended, but the second decision wasn't the best, and Chazy gets possession back with a lot of space here. Here goes Reynolds. Trying to find Lauren, but it goes on the foot of Huddig. Actually, Huddig and Barrier fighting for it. Huddig doing a good job screening Barrier, still retains possession, and Barry does a good job getting the ball, and number 11 kicks it downfield, Morris, for the Lions, and number 9, Morris. I guess there's a couple Morris. I should try to get their first names here, because I'm sure they're probably related some way or another, but Chazy does a good job, and that's a nice ball by Brothers, but Brooks gets a foot on it, and Drew kicks it back to Brooks, and Brooks just boots it downfield to Botten, and Botten, nice ball by Botten to Reynolds. Mr. Cool out there in the middle of the field goes over, slides over to Barrier to the far side. Barrier has a lot of space, and he calmly goes back to Chazy to retain possession wisely, and up to Justin Brothers, and Brothers with a nice small ball up to Lauren, and Lauren with a long ball in the corner to Pelton. Pelton putting on the afterburners, and he has a lot of space. Pelton maybe can go end line. Oh, a beautiful service by Pelton, and wow, mishandled by Justin Lapierre, but he luckily comes up with the possession after the second effort. Good a second effort by Justin Lapierre, because Lauren was right there to pounce on it. Had that gone in his favor, but he kicks it downfield. And looks like Hooper on the far side. He moved him on the outside, beating number 13 Tompkins and Brothers going at it. And Hayden Gay comes up with possessions, and Barrier goes downfield trying to find Lauren, and Lauren has it bounced off his body a few times, and Barrier ends up chesting the ball back himself, and really nice touch by the young sophomore Drake. And Drake goes back to Reynolds, and Chazy's just calmly, cooling, dissecting Elizabethtown at this time, and Lauren over to the corner again to Pelton. Pelton has a lot of time for a service, and that's a nice service by Pelton, and he's having all kinds of times, hard times, Justin Lapierre. Handling those crosses from Pelton. And Chazy will retain possession with the throw on the far side, and Hayden Gay will take this. And goes short to Drake. Drake right back to Gay. He does lose possession, and it goes off the foot of a defender, and it'll be a quick Chazy throw, and Gay taking it. Drake with a nice service in the middle, and number 9, Joel Morris. We'll try to get those two Morris brothers or cousins, whatever they are, and get their names right. Number 9 is Joel. Called his name a few times already. And a throw in from Chazy. And Huddig, longtime starter and good player for Elizabethtown, Charlie Huddig. And Mr. Botten kicks it out for Chazy, and Hayden Gay being challenged. And nice little give and go, Hayden Gay and Josh Barrier, and they're just looking really good this evening, the Eagles are. And Lauren loses possession. That's a really good play by number 11, Austin Morris. That's the other Morris. Here's Pelton being challenged by number 3, Turner. Pelton gets it by him, trying to find Lauren, and kicked out of the zone by Noka Bailey. And Josh Barrier for the Eagles gets it. Here comes Lauren again. Lauren over to Drake with some space. Drake with a nice cut. Ooh, boy, that could have been ball kind of bouncing around inadvertently for the defense of Elizabethtown, and Justin Lapierre ends up with the ball and letting his team get set up, and looks like Elizabethtown is starting to run out of legs early in this game. This man right here, number 13, Will Tompkins, is running all over the place, and he's kind of slowed down a little bit because we are 22 minutes and 23 seconds away from the end of this first half. Chazy up 2-0, and nice move, but Drew does a good job retaining possession for Chazy, and he was kind of tackled from behind. That could have been a possible yellow card on Tompkins. I know he's in a hurry, but Chazy with a great chance here, and Lauren, he makes it number 3 for the Eagles in the early going of this first half. And Calvin, we're going to be back in a moment. From Gay. And then that number 3 goal scored by Lauren was the assist, Hayden Gay's second assist of the game. So Chazy's doing some really good work, but that was actually set up from the midfield. So here comes Lauren trying to bounce through to get another one. And Drake right there, but it's wisely defended by, or I should say well defended by Elizabethtown, on a foul on Pelton. And he doesn't even argue that one, and on his way they go. And a kind of a miss kick here. It goes right to Drake. A lot of defenders back for Elizabethtown, and they do have numbers, but Drake is, what a nice cut by Drake. Trying to get through, but very well defended by Noka Bailey, and kicked out. And goes up to Hooper, but he loses possession, and Goes over to Reynolds to Barrier. Barrier on top of the box. Barrier, that's actually not a bad shot for Josh Barrier. Not a bad choice. It's very slippery down there, it looks like, in front of these nets. It has been raining for the last kind of unsettled weather earlier this week, so the field is in nice condition. And I will say a couple nice things about Mr. Norcross. He does a good thing with this field. Looks in pretty good shape. And Brett to Drew challenging number 13 Tompkins. And Joel Morris, I should say, trying to find number 15 Gowdy, but good job by Drew. And here goes Drake. Good job by Drake. Being challenged by 19 Whalen. And Reynolds ends up with the ball for the Eagles. He goes far and wide trying to find Hayden Gay, being challenged by number 14 Deedham. And Hayden Gay still has the ball, and he does a nice move. And Hayden Gay does a nice service that could be in. Oh my, that just missed. And it goes wide. But that was a good work by Hayden Gay on the far side. We got 20 minutes left in the first half. And this is when Coach McAuliffe, yes he is, this is when Coach McAuliffe normally puts in the two substitutes that a lot of people, including myself, think would be starting on any other team in this Division II, and the vast majority of them, if not all of them, in Division I. So he has a deep bench this year with Poitras and Rogers coming off the bench. Been playing very well for Coach McAuliffe's Chazy Eagles off the bench. And here goes Brandon Lauren trying to bust in on the defense. Brandon Lauren with a cross that goes right across the crease, but nobody there for Chazy, and Pelton ends up with the ball and deep in the territory of Elizabethtown. Elizabethtown having all they can do just to get this ball out. And Charles Huddy, the old standby, gets rid of it for Elizabethtown. He just kicks it downfield away into Chazy territory, and Botten has a lot of space and a lot of time. He comes over to the near side to Drew. With 18:59 left in the first half, Chazy up 3-0 versus Elizabethtown in Northern Soccer League Division II. And Justin Brothers did a great job right there receiving that ball, getting it over to Giroux, going back over to Reynolds. And here goes Barrier. Barrier has some space. Is he going to let one fly? Yes, he does. And that's a good shot. And a good save by Justin Lapierre. And number 17 going in for the Elizabethtown Lions, Hunter Farrell. Coming off number 15 for the Lions is Gowdy. And coming off is number 10, Pelton, and number 16, Hayden Gay, who's a couple of assists to his credit. And there's Drake with a corner kick. Goes kind of far and a little too deep, but Justin Brothers giving chase, being challenged by Morris. Good job by Justin Brothers, actually, and they're going to call, looks like an offsides call. Another missed kick by Elizabethtown. They cannot afford to do that against Chazy. They will make it pay for it eventually. And Joel Morris just kind of kicks it downfield, goes to the Chazy's Chazy. Chazy finding Lauren, but not a bad choice actually by Lauren. And we have number 13, Will Tompkins, being challenged by Drew. Goes out of bounds off Drew, and it's going to be a throw-in for Elizabethtown. Number 17, Farrell, will take it on the near side in Chazy territory. And Reynolds. Good job by Nathan Reynolds. He already has 2 goals to his credit here with in his first half, and Reynolds gets it up to Lauren, and Lauren can go end line. Oh, Lauren has some space. Lauren, oh, what a service across the line, and nobody there for Chazy to put that in. Good work by Lauren to get that ball across, and Chazy kind of wasting a chance. Nobody there. And we have a throw in for the Eagles. Poitras takes it on the far side, trying to get it to Barry, being challenged by Huddig. And Poitras going after it again. He is challenged by Noka Bailey, and it goes out of bounds off Bailey. And Poitras going to take another throw in with 16 minutes and 47 seconds left. Chazy up 3-0. Poitras throwing on the far side. Nice throw in, top of the box. Kicked out by a defender of Elizabethtown. Poitras fighting for the ball, and it goes over to the foot of Josh Barrier. He just kind of sends one in and goes on the foot of Rogers. Rogers right back to Reynolds. Reynolds with a couple of moves here. Good job by Joel Morris, and they will call a foul against Reynolds because he is the bigger of the two, and that's how it goes sometimes. Reynolds is not arguing the call, but a number 11, Austin Morris, with a free kick deep in their zone of the Elizabethtown Lions. Elizabethtown really hasn't been able to get a whole lot going here in this first half against Chazy. Eagles taking it to them. There's kind of a sparse crowd here this evening, Calvin, for an Elizabethtown-Chazy game.
Yeah, this is unheard of.
Maybe they didn't think Mickey Fries were going tonight, but they are going. And here's a good ball by Barrier, trying to find Drake, and kicked out by Noka Bailey. Headed in by Reynolds, and Poitras comes up with the ball. Poitras still retains possession, but he's displaced by the ball by Morris, and Poitras with a little extracurricular push on his end, and there's going to be a foul on him. 15:23 left. October 15th, 2012 at the George Brendler Field, and Chazy showing what they are made of this evening in Northern Soccer League Division 2, trying to keep their undefeated season going. Good job by Lauren. Being challenged by Joel Morris, and he loses possession, and Tompkins gets the ball, but he loses it and goes back to Lauren. Lauren with some space, and he's bumped off the ball by Huddig, but Chazy does retain possession anyway, and is kicked right to the foot of Lauren again. Lauren loses possession by Huddig, and he loses possession to Reynolds. Reynolds gets the ball back, and he's trying to find Lauren deep in the zone, but that's defended well by number 14, Deedham, and Poitras doing a good job down there. Poitras with a shot, and Poitras with a goal. Wow, good work by Poitras deep in the zone and working off the mistake. That was great. That's going to make it 4-0 with 14:35 left in the first half. Chazy with a commanding 4-0 lead. Poitras doing some good work, and it's going to be unassisted.
What happened there, Joe? I was watching the geese fly over.
We're going to cut your donation in half. Not that it's that much anyway, but it's in half. That was some good work by Chazy.
Number 1, David Poitras. The goal is unassisted.
And here's Chazy giving chase down in the corner, and that's going to be Elizabethtown's first corner kick this evening. And it took them a while to get it with 14:15 left in the first half, but they will not quit. Coach Bueller's Lions, they will not ever quit, so that is one good thing about them. Elizabethtown setting up for the corner kick, taking his time. I cannot catch that number over there, Calvin. Do you know the number?
I can see the hair. It's red.
I can see it. That's got to be Charlie Huddig then. Charlie Huddig, he cannot go any place without being recognized, and it's kind of a low one. And it's a good shot by Hooper. Defended well by Chazy, and Chazy cannot get it out yet. And Austin Morris with a kind of a miss kick and kick back in. And Joel Morris trying to kick it back in. That goes off the head of Brothers and into the hands of Bissonette. Bissonette's going to calmly bring it out to the 18-yard line and let Chazy get set up once again and try to extend that 4-0 lead. And Huddig off his head, and there goes Rogers with the ball for Chazy, and Rogers on the near side being challenged by a couple of Lions, and he had a nice slick move by Rogers, still retaining possession. He back passes to Drew. Drew goes over to the middle of the field to Brothers, and Brothers back to Drew, and Chazy putting something on, and Tompkins doing a decent job defending. He's a good hustler, and here goes Lauren with the ball, but Drake comes up with it for the Eagles. Number 2, Drake being challenged by Austin Morris. Drake still with the ball. Drake on top of the box. He goes inside. He's being challenged by Bailey. Bailey comes up with it for Elizabethtown. He's taken down by Rogers, and there will be no call. And we're going to have a couple substitutions here for Elizabethtown. Number 6 is going in, is White. And number they didn't, this is kind of an inadvertent subs here. And number 17 heading in is Farrell. Actually, it would be, the subs didn't go in. The official, Mr. Bayshire, says nobody goes in, and here comes Lauren. Lauren doing a good job being challenged. But, oh, man, was he taken down with, it looked like a little bit of malice on the part of Huddig, but there will be no card. Sometimes these games can get out of hand with the score spreads like this. Sometimes the best thing an official can do is start throwing some color out there to calm it down a little bit.
I was in Ellenberg there last week, and Huddig played harder than anybody out there, but he was the first one after the game to go over and shake the Bobcats' hand.
Yeah, he is. He's always done that. He'll play it with all his might, but he is a good competitor. And number 2 going in is Harwood for Lions, and number 6 White, and going in for the Eagles is number 25 Alec Lapierre, and coming off is Drew. Coming off is Tompkins and Dedham for the Lions. And kind of a miss kick again for Elizabethtown. They just cannot seem to get those goal kicks down. Kind of, they're going to pay for that. There goes nice ball right there by Rogers. Passing it back to Justin Brothers. Brothers up to Barrier. Barrier trying to find Lauren. He does. Lauren being challenged by Huddig, but Lauren still retains possession. But Austin Morris kicks it downfield onto the foot of Botten. A little bit inside the Chazy zone, but Botten trying to find Poitras. And good job by some defending by Elizabethtown, but Chazy gets the ball back, and they start doing what they do best, and that's moving the ball. Brothers up to Reynolds, being challenged by Joel Morris. Here goes Reynolds on top of the box. Reynolds trying to get a hat trick here. Reynolds, a good shot by Reynolds, and there it is. Wow, what a shot by Reynolds. Doing a couple of moves, and that will make it 5-0 with 10 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half. Chazy kind of dismantling the Elizabethtown Lions. Wow, we had a pretty good line on that shot, and that was a nice one. That curl right on top of the box. That was from distance too. So Calvin is filming some fall geese. Since the game is not exciting, we might as well get something exciting. Chazy playing rather flawless here.
Scored by number 12, Nathan Reynolds. The goal was unassisted.
Elizabethtown trying to put something together, but Poitras defends well and gets it back at the foot of Chazy. Chazy gets it up to Lauren, being challenged by Huddig. Lauren coming across the center of the field, and he goes back a little bit to Alec Lapierre. A couple of Lapierres on the field, one for Chazy, and he kind of miskicks it himself, and luckily that didn't end up a decent chance because it was defended well by Brothers. So here comes Josh Barrier for the Eagles. Not really too much space being given by the Lions, and here goes Reynolds again. Reynolds already has 3 goals. Oh, nice ball by Reynolds over to Drake. Lapierre comes off his line, and Drake lets go with a shot, and goes off the foot of Lapierre, and Mr. Bayshard is going to call a goal kick, and some people have a different opinion, but he was right there on top of it, and it was actually probably a pretty good call, and Elizabethtown's going to take it to the far side of the box to try to get this kick off because they've slipped a few times, and there goes Justin Lapierre. One of the better ones off the head of Huddig, I should say. It ends up on the foot of Chazy. Chazy goes down the line. Defender for Elizabethtown just kicks it downfield once again and goes right to the foot of Botten in the Chazy zone. He's trying to find Drake with a long pass, but that goes nowhere off the foot of Bailey, but Drake gets it back, and he gets a nice pass over to, here comes Rogers. Rogers with a goal. Wow, good passing right there by Chazy. You got to give him credit. With 8:47 left, that makes it 6-0 now?
Probably.
Yeah.
Should I be getting the cheering that's going on next to me on camera?
It's silent cheering, is it?
Cheering,
Silent cheering, yes.
It would make some interesting video, though.
You can put it on, Calvin. It'd be on YouTube.
Maybe the next, if Chazy could score again.
Don't they have the Korean guy that does the rap music or something? He's famous. Maybe we can make my wife famous. I can retire. She does get excited, and Chazy.
Chazy goal scored by number 8, Nolan Martin.
Great.
And assisted by number 2, Derek Drake.
I'll tell you what, there could be a double assist with that with Reynolds. Feeding that ball to Drake. Just some great passing by Chazy. And there's the 2 subs getting a couple of goals, Reynolds and Poitras. So I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. Chazy's substitutions could be starting for a lot of these teams. Actually, just about every one of them. And Rogers gets called for a foul, but he doesn't know what he did wrong, but he did something wrong to be called for it. We're not going to give him too much crap because that was a nice goal. Very nice goal. He gets a chance to finish, and he did. And some subs going in for Chazy. Number 3, Zach Brothers. Number 10, Pelton. Number 17, Drew's going back in. And 16, Hayden Gay going back in. I think Coach McCullough looking to put Hayden Gay back there on defense. And actually, we have Justin Roy going in for Chazy Eagles. Justin Roy getting some action in. Hayden Gay with the ball over to Rogers, moving him over, shifting him over from outside midfield over to inside midfield over to Zach Brothers, the brother of Justin Brothers, who just came off the field. Played a good game, so Coach McCullough emptying his bench rather early in this game. Of course, with the 6-0 lead with 7 minutes left in this first half, it's Chazy's still putting some good stuff together, and Zach Brothers went to ground, but he did get the ball off, and oh wow, and Lauren with Lauren with an authority type goal and an assist to Zach Brothers. That will make it, who cares by now? It doesn't really matter. In the first half, and that's Brandon's, I think, second or third goal, and that was with authority, like I said, and Coach McCullough will pull him off the field. And it was some nice work, actually, by Zach Brothers, getting off the ground and getting the ball to Lauren. And they have taken the heart and soul right out of the Elizabethtown Lions early and with emphasis. 7-0, Chazy. I did think that this would be a little bit closer because Elizabethtown does come down here and challenges Chazy well on the George Brendler Field, where they have had in recent history, but
Scored by number 24, Brandon
tonight,
and assisted by number 3, Zach Brothers.
Zach Brothers is going to get his name in the paper, and well so, because it was a very good assist by Zach and a really nice goal again by Lauren, one of the goal-scoring leaders in the area this year, last year, and the year before that. So Eagles, Pelton trying to come up with the ball, and kicked in by number 19, Whalen, for Elizabethtown, but it goes into the hands of Bissonnette. Bissonnette's going to give his revamped team time to set up. Like I say, may say revamp because there's a whole bunch of different players in there from what started this game. For Chazy, and Botton's left, Bissonnette's left, Drew's left. And that's just about it for the Eagles. That's a nice ball by Charlie Huddig, and Bissonnette comes off his line and punches that out to the foot of Rogers and goes over to Poitras, and Poitras went into traffic, and Pelton comes up with the ball and just kicked out from the Elizabethtown defender on the foot of Drew. Poitras giving chase again. Poitras hungry. Poitras is a nice service, but Bailey kicks it downfield for the Lions, and it goes on the foot of Drew. Drew over to Hayden Gay. Hayden Gay back to the center of the field over to Pelton. Pelton's kind of switched spots too. He's a good ball handler with time and trying to find Poitras, but well defended by Morris of the Elizabethtown Lions. And nice ball by Botten over to Gay. Nice touch. And Gay with another. Trying to find, looked like Pilon, but Huddig comes up with the ball for the Lions, and he carries it a little bit and trying to find Hooper. Hooper is very dangerous on these counterattacks. Hooper trying to service it, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Elizabethtown Lions. We have 4 minutes and 32 seconds to go. Chazy with a dominating performance in this first half. 3 goals by Reynolds and at least 2 by Lauren, and whole other cast of characters of Rogers getting into it and Poitras getting into the action, so spreading the scoring around a little bit. I still like the assist by Zach Brothers, and that is some beautiful passing by Chazy this evening. That's a nice ball, and Chazy defends well, and it goes out. Good ball by Justin Roy. Poitras challenging Hooper on the far side, deep in the zone, and it goes off the foot of Poitras, and it's going to be a throw-in for Hooper. Hooper takes a good one and tries to find Morris, and well defended by Chazy. Chazy's Rogers kicks it down bounds, out of bounds, or I should say downfield. The foot of Whale, and he's being challenged by Pelton, and Justin Roy giving challenge And just kicked out of bounds by Elizabethtown, and Alec Lapeer will take it for Chazy. Out the head of Pelton, and Austin Morris kicks it to nobody and ends up in the foot of Rogers, trying to find Poitras and well defended, but Poitras does come up with the ball, trying to find Pelton, but kicked downfield by Bailey. And Rogers trying to go wide, trying to find, really good play right there by, that would be number 9, I believe, Joel Morris. And they will call a foul against Chazy. And Todd Lambert telling them to back up right off the bat. And the player looks like number 8, Caleb Denton. He looks like he's dinged up a little bit on that. He carried the ball a little bit too much. But Charlie Huddig, he does have a good foot. And we have just about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Elizabethtown threatening. And Huddig goes almost to the post office on the other side of those trees with that ball, and a couple of the underclassmen will be chasing that one after the game, trying to find it. And Chazy is awarded a goal kick. Coming out the field, number 17, Hunter Farrell. For the Lions, I did not see the substitute. And Bott with a good goal kick. Hooper with the ball. And here goes Huddig being challenged by Poitras. Poitras defends well, and Poitras goes over to nice ball to Hayden Gay. And Hayden Gay with a nice ball up to Pelton. Chazy on the counterattack, trying to get another goal here to add to their 7-0 lead. Pelton with some good speed and ball skills. Pelton has a couple guys to beat, and he really looked for Justin Roy. Oh, he doesn't look for Justin Roy. He looked for the goal. And number 16, that would be 17. Farrell defends well.
Here, push a little bit.
Pelton with a quick corner kick with about 1 minute left. Nice service by Pelton. Oh, there's a pile up of people, and Justin Lapeer was lucky that ball did not end up back of the net to make it 8-0. But I do have to give Elizabethtown credit. They have not quit. They are still playing hard, and they're still trying to get something going, so something to build upon. Oh, nice move by Brody Hooper on the far side, beating Hayden Gay. He still has possession, going deep in Chazy territory. Hayden Gay does a good job getting back to defend, and Hooper does get the cross to the top of the box. And number 15, Gowdy gets it in, but it's kicked out by Alec Lapeer, and it goes on the foot of Huddig in the Chazy zone. Probably about 40 yards out. Oh, wow. Elizabethtown with a decent chance here. We're going to have a misplay, and number 8 gets a good shot off Denton for Elizabethtown, and Chazy gets another goal kick, so Elizabethtown applying some pressure late in this first half, but to no avail. Chazy with a commanding 7-0 lead, kind of unexpectedly in the first half of the George Brendler Field. We will be back in the second half. Going home, honey? All right. He scored about 45 seconds into this game. Welcome back to the second half of this rather unexciting Chazy Elizabethtown game at the George Brendler Field. Today is October 15th, 2012. And Chazy dismantled Elizabethtown in the early going, and they just scored every which way to go to 7-0 lead here in this game. And I don't know, Elizabethtown, they back in their heels that whole first half. Lauren with a couple of goals, Reynolds with 3, Poitras with 1, Rogers with 1, and I mean they were all nice goals too. Every goal was a very, very good goal. There weren't any cheapies involved, so Chazy's going to try to keep this momentum going. I see Barriers out, and we have Zach Brothers in the middle of the field. Kind of the only change that's happened from the starting lineup. I don't know if actually it's Reynolds that's out. I'm surprised I didn't even notice him. Of course, he has his hat trick already, so Coach McCullough saving him for something, and maybe just give him a rest. But Zach Brothers is going to be nice to see how he can handle it over here, the two sophomores. Actually, I think they're juniors this year, 2 juniors for Chazy, Brothers and Barrier. Gonna get something going. Drew on the far side of the field, comes to the center of the field, finding Barrier. Barrier over to Zach Brothers. Zach Brothers over to Hayden Gay. Has got a couple of assists, some nice assists, and almost a goal. Hayden Gay being challenged by number 14. That would be Deedham, and it goes off his foot, and Chazy gets a throw in deep inside the Elizabethtown zone on the near side, and Chazy playing defense, but trying to get some offense going, and there goes Barrier for the Eagles on top of the box. Barrier lets a shot go, but it's well defended by Elizabethtown. And Brody Hooper and Drew going at it a little bit, but it goes on the foot of Botten for Chazy. He calmly sends a nice ball up to Barrier to Brothers, but good job by Huddig. And here's Hayden Gay challenging Denton. Ball goes out of bounds on the near side. And number 14 for Elizabethtown, Deedham, with a throw on the near side. Good job by Hayden Gay bouncing it off number 8, Denton, and Chazy retains possession. Quick throw in over to Brothers. Brothers finding Barrier, back to Brothers, and Brothers wisely goes far side. And Giroux with the ball for the Eagles. Goes kind of a miss kick by Giroux, but that still ends up fortuitously on the foot of Barrier, and he miss kicks it. Number 8 for Elizabethtown, Denton with the ball, and being challenged by number 2, Drake. And they're going to let him play, Mr. Lambert says. And nice ball right there by Brothers. Back to Chazy, over to Gay, and Gay up to Drake. And good job by Deedham coming up with the ball. And off the foot of Drake, out of bounds on the near side, and Deedham will throw it in for Elizabethtown. Chazy with a convincing 7-0 lead here at the George Brendler Field, and Huddig would like to put a little dent in that, and he loses possession, and Hayden Gay gets it up to Lauren. Lauren has a little bit of space, being challenged by Bailey. Lauren trying to find Barrier, but just a little bit behind him and well defended. And Tompkins loses possession for Elizabethtown to Chazy's Drew, and Drew over to Zach Brothers. Brothers up to Drake. Drake comes to the near side over to Hayden Gay. Hayden Gay has a good left foot and he has a lot of space to use it. A nice service by Gay, and nobody there for Chazy except for Pelton. Kind of pokes it back in and kicked out of bounds by Gowdy. And Chazy will get a throw in on the far side. Chazy kind of nursing a 7-0 lead here against Elizabethtown in Northern Soccer League Division II action, and a lot of people expected a whole lot more of a game here tonight, including myself. But here's one man that put an end to all that notion, is Lauren with a couple of goals. Justin Brothers with the ball. Nice ball by Justin Brothers over to Drake. Drake over to Lauren. Lauren and Drake working well together, and over to Zach Brothers. Brothers has some space and he takes a shot. That's some good work by Chazy in the early going of the second half. Zach Brothers does go over the net, but number 2 coming in for Elizabethtown is Harwood, and coming off is number 8, Denton. Denton, I think, got dinged up a little bit earlier, probably about 8 minutes ago. Carried the ball a little bit and he was knocked down. And
I know you're in your zone there, Joe.
Yes, I am.
There's
Go
an
ahead.
ambulance here, and just before the half started, Coach Bueller came over to Coach McAuliffe, and I think then Galen went over with a cell phone, and so somebody, I think, in the E-Town bench has got some stress going on.
really, everybody's okay over there. Glad you didn't notice that, Calvin. I thought they were coming for a fan or maybe me, but it's kind of sad when an ambulance call is more exciting than a soccer game, but it is more important anyway. And Justin Brothers up to his brother, Zach Brothers. And Chazy still retains possession. Over to Giroux on the far side. And there's Lauren trying to find somebody, and Nobody gets it except for Justin Brothers on the middle of the field. Nice touch by Justin Brothers. The barrier, Zach Brothers, going wide over to Hayden Gay. Hayden Gay with some space. Being challenged by 14 Deedham, and nice service by Gay. And here comes Lauren. No, here comes Pelton, and Pelton does go wide, and he's kind of scratching his head on that one. Going to be a throw-in for Elizabethtown. The ambulance is leaving.
No, the people here.
Are they? Okay. We're moving. Okay. We do have some people administering some aid to somebody on the Elizabethtown bench as this game goes on. So maybe a player got injured out there then on the field that we don't know about. And it does look like a player for Elizabethtown. We do not know the player's number or name. We cannot see very well in the booth, but we do hope he's okay.
Well, the fact that they came over at the end of the 5-minute halftime, kind of curious as to what the injury is.
Like I said, I cannot see right now if there. Looks like he is sitting down, the young man that they are administering some aid to, so we do wish him the best. Number 2, Harwood. Nice job by Drake against Huddig, and Drake and Huddig going up, and Drake does come up with the ball, and he is taken down hard by Hooper, but there was nothing egregious or malicious about the takedown by Hooper. Just some hard play by Brody. And his father, Fred Hooper, has been up here in the booth with myself and Calvin and Joey Tremblay, who is missing. He's been up with us numerous times, and it's always a pleasure to see Fred. And we kind of wish maybe he was up here this evening with us, because Joey is missing in action. And his daughter, Mara, had a game up in Lake Placid tonight, and there's Pelton. And they're going to call it a goal kick for Elizabethtown. The ambulance has now left. Yeah, they are deciding what they're going to be doing with the hopefully not seriously injured or ill player for Elizabethtown. So there's Hooper with the ball. He has space and very well defended by Justin Brothers, and they are going to be bringing a stretcher over for the player. And
hang on, buddy.
one of the people I do know for the first responders is Nicole Filion, and we are going to stop the clock here. Todd Lambert.
White, come over here. Green, you can go to your bench real quick.
Todd Lambert is going to stop the clock until the emergency situation is handled, and they do get the player off the field and taken care of.
Todd, can they come on?
Okay, timer, you all set?
All right, we're back to action here with 30 minutes and 47 seconds left. That was an official's timeout, and we had a young man taken out on the ambulance, Mr. Isaiah Turner, number 3. He was having issues breathing, so kind of took him out during the game, and he came over here during halftime, and he was having some issues, and I guess he's had issues in the past with some breathing. Hopefully he's recovered or will recover. So we do appreciate the Chazy first responders coming over here and taking care of the young man, and we do wish him the best. But Chazy is leading 7-0. All 7 goals were scored in the first half. We're about 10 minutes into this half, and Chazy's threatened a few times, but kind of taking the pressure off a little bit. Coach McCullough's taking Reynolds out of the game.
Bill, you notice it's crowded in the booth?
I do notice there, Chazy's own version of Ted Baxter did finally come out of hibernation and semi-retirement this year. He is joining us. Joey, we do appreciate you showing up here in person as well as spirit.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Of course, you know why I'm late, right?
We really don't care. How about that? No, he was up to you're up to a junior varsity game. Your daughter Marla does play junior varsity, and that's where you should be. And I'm glad you were. And how those young ladies fared this evening?
Well, the JV Lake Placid played Lake Placid, and they lost 3-0. And in the varsity got a measure of revenge. They only lost to show us to Lake Placid in overtime here on the George Brendler Field, and they won 2-1 today.
Now, if those two teams are both with one loss, Lake Placid and Chazy, do you know how they're going to handle the tiebreaker? Will they have a playoff?
No, I don't think it'll be a playoff. They, of course, both games were 2-1, so they can't go on goal differential. I don't know if they're going to look at goals for the whole year. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I have no idea.
That's all you have to say.
Well, I'm just kind of giving you. See, at Hometown Cable, we go in depth. We go in depth here.
I can tell.
Joe or Calvin, we call that
Depth, huh? I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to keep talking, Joey Trombley.
Hey, you got the mic. You keep going, buddy.
Actually, yeah, I do have the microphone this evening, and it's kind of an unfamiliar feeling with you up in the booth, and it feels kind of good. But it is good to see you up here, Joey. I do. It has been a very good
nice
game.
Show up for a game too, Joe. We know you pick and choose.
Yes. I choose the
But
boys'
you did
games.
say that the boys have looked good here the first half.
Oh, they looked very, it's clinical. It really was. That's all I can say. And Elizabethtown has a good team.
Right.
Yeah, they're a good team. I believe they're in second place or tied for second place in the division, and they have only 2 losses. They are a good team, but Chazy playing very well this evening. They're finishing is what they're doing. And good hustle right there by Zach Brothers for the Eagles. And some nice work by Elizabethtown, but it goes right on the foot of Hayden Gay. Hayden Gay over to Zach Brothers, and Mrs. Lauren. Lauren was turning the other way, but Chazy will retain possession with the Hayden Gay on the near side, taking a quick throw into Drake. Drake, one of the goal scorers for Chazy. He is not on the board this evening, but that is not for lack of trying. He's had some good feeds himself.
I'm sure, Joe, you made a comment how great this field looks for this late in the season.
I did earlier, yes. I complimented Mr. Norcross on his actually not canceling tonight's game because of rain. Because this game is a makeup game from probably about 10 days ago. Had some monsoon-type torrential downpours, and the game was canceled. And we've had some unsettled weather, and the field is slippery in spots, but that's a nice ball right there from Chazy going to the far side of the field, finding Giroux. And good hustle, actually, by number 13, Tompkins, but Drew gets it away. But here goes Lauren with some speed and skill. He's being challenged by a couple of different people, but he still retains possession, and Morris did a good job defending well, and landed on top of Lauren, I can't get who it is, but he's still down, and Barrier kicks it out of bounds. I'm trying to get the number of the player who is down. That could be is going to be a official timeout by Lambert. It's the second one he's called this evening, so we will be back in a moment. And we're back in the action here. That would be number 23 that went down hard with Laura landing on Noka Bailey. So he is out momentarily, and they could ill afford to lose him. And here's Noka Bailey for Elizabethtown. That goes through a whole bunch of people that shouldn't have. Yeah, it was posing for a picture or something, but good job by Derek Drake. And that will be an Elizabethtown throw-in on the near side in their zone. And Charlie Huddig throws it in, trying to find number 2, which he does, Harwood. Harwood with the ball. We're trying to center and interrupted by Justin Brothers for Chazy, and Zach Brothers kicks it up to Hayden Gay. Hayden Gay goes over to the middle of the field with Josh Barrier. Josh Barrier trying to go down the middle field, find Lauren. He does. Lauren being challenged by Morris. Lauren gets by Morris. Lauren serves it. Here comes Drake, and defended well, or luckily, however you want to look at it, by the Elizabethtown defense. It goes on the foot of Justin Brothers. Justin Brothers kicks it up, but kicked out by Elizabethtown, and Botten just kind of blasts one for Chazy in the zone of Elizabethtown. Goes on the foot of Huddig, Charlie Huddig, a long-time Lion, with the middle of the field being challenged by Drake. They've been going out. This is their second battle of the game, and Huddig wins that one, but Harwood ends up with the ball for Elizabethtown, being challenged by a couple of guys, but Chazy ends that discussion with a big blast downfield to the foot of 24. That would be, excuse me, Joe, you want to hold that? Be some good up here, please? Sure. Thank you very much. Brooks, thank you. Very good. You're doing a good job, Joey.
I mean, you never helped me out, but I'll step up and help you.
You're never around. It's kind of nice, actually, not having to help you. Even though I still would.
You're always there for me, buddy.
Oh, yeah. And Hayden Gay kicks it to Lauren, and Lauren in his area, but going into the Elizabethtown zone now, being challenged by Morris. Gets by Morris with some speed, gets the ball over to Drake, and well defended by Brooks again. Brooks kicks it on the foot of Barrier, though. Barrier lets go with a nice ball, and oh, wow, what are we going to do with this one?
Play.
Holy cow. That's Lauren's third goal of the game, and Barrier gets a beautiful assist. That was just a nice play. That was the first goal of this half. We have 23 minutes and 47 seconds left in the... I'm going to tell you what, we have that left in this game, everybody, because that will make it 8-0 Chazy on Brandon Lauren's third goal of the game, and Coach McCullough has kind of mixed and matched them a little bit even this half. We don't have Reynolds playing, and Zach Brothers doing a good job in the middle of the field, and he's going to empty his bench, it looks like McCullough is, for the rest of this game.
Good job, Cody.
What did you think of that, Joey?
That was picture perfect.
They've been scoring them like that. All 7 of them were very good goals. I mean, 8 goals.
That was a
very nice.
An assistant by number 5, Josh.
that was a top 5 play for Channel 5 News to show, I'll tell you. Right now.
Oh, and Bissonette comes off his line, and that will be a goal kick. We have flashball Bayshard on the far side of the field. Colin Miller coming on the field for Chazy, number 18, Dylan Garrow. Number 8, or Nolan Rogers, number 1, David Poitras, and number 25, Alec Lapierre coming off. Derek Drake, Brandon Lauren, Josh Barrier, and Brett Giroux. A well-earned rest with about 23 minutes left in this game, with Chazy an extremely comfortable 8-0 lead. I mean, it just...
Well, I mean, E-Town's not a bad team.
They're not bad.
No.
They're not bad. Like I said, they're
They
second
come
place.
down to this field.
They normally, how many classic matches have we seen, Jody, down here with Coach Bueller's team? I mean, we've seen match after match, overtime, and the playoffs last year, a couple of years ago, was it 40-something 7 seconds
and
left?
Lauren headed the ball into
I mean, so last year, double overtime, Brandon Lauren scoring a goal off a feed from Rogers and making it 1-0. And I
this
just...
is really stunning.
It is, but it's just, Chazy's played very well. I mean, that's the bottom line. Chazy they're taking it to him and making
After this week, Joe, playoffs start.
Yes, they do.
I guess you say they're peaking at the right time.
They are playing very, very well.
But they came out of the gate strong this year in the
they
Frankie
did.
Garrow Memorial.
Yes, they did. Here's Dylan Garrow passing it to Poitras. Poitras trying to find Gay, but
Go Hugh!
on the foot of number 8,
Come on, Connor!
Denton. And Botten with the ball. And neatly passes over to Chazy, and Hayden Gay gets it. Nice touch from Gay. And Gay over to Poitras. Poitras up to Zach Brothers, but he's being chased by Mocha Billy and goes off his foot, and Chazy retains possession with a quick throw from Hayden Gay up to Zach Brothers deep inside the area of Elizabethtown. Poitras being challenged by Huddig, and Huddig wins that battle. Poitras gets the ball back. He is a tenacious defender. He hates losing the ball, and Poitras with a nice ball. Nice service, but nobody there. And that's a missed kick by Brooks, but he's going to pay for it. And that's a great shot, actually, by Pelton. And a really nice save by Lapierre, who had that great game down here a couple of years ago, Joey. That one classic match that Calvin wasn't here.
Oh, yeah.
And, he chose to go to another game that, was a little less exciting, but we'll be covering these from now on. No doubt. We know how to run the camera, not just the first half or the second half. And I'm going to put Sean Rogers in with us too because he was there messing up with us.
Sean's the camera.
Share the blame. Right?
Absolutely. I see the Mickey Fry grease flying through the air here.
The haze, Mickey Fry's haze. Mickey Hayes.
I can smell it too.
Oh, that's a nice ball right there from Garrow to Gay, but he loses it. And Poitras trying to one-time it against Huddig. Poitras and Huddig battling once again, and Huddig gets by Poitras.
Just carry on over.
Ooh, and Poitras took offense to that, but Huddig does retain possession. And going in momentarily for Elizabethtown, number 15, Gowdy, and for Chazy, number 20, Bouye, and number 7, Justin Roy. So, just a bit. 19 minutes and 30 seconds left in a rather unexciting game. Chazy 8 and Elizabethtown 0. Kind of rather.
Chazy fan, you're probably enjoying this.
I don't know. I think you'd rather see a little tighter. I mean, you want to see, of course, you always want to win. I know that, but this is slaughtering of the seals isn't really what you want to come and see. I mean. And Rogers ends up with the ball. Rogers trying to go wide, finding Pelton, but that's sorted by Brooks. But Pelton does end up with the ball, and here's Poitras with the ball on top of the box. Poitras with a move, and well defended by Bailey. And Huddig kicks the ball downfield, and Alec Lapeer ends up with it for Chazy. Being challenged. Alec Lapeer over to. Looks like they have Rogers back at the stopper position, and McCullough's moved everybody around so much, kind of hard to pick out their spots, but. Dylan Garrow gets it back to Poitras. Should say cousin Dylan. Garrow doing a decent job getting that ball, and Poitras going to the middle of the field with Rogers, and Rogers with a nice little cutback, but well defended again by Noka Bailey, and that just harmlessly is serviced into the hands of Justin Lapeer, the junior keeper for Elizabethtown. And Joey Bouye almost had his first touch, and going in for Chazy, Jacob Kennedy, number 2, and number 4, Brendan Ryan. The emptying of the benches. Fans getting a little something to cheer about, and Elizabethtown trying to apply a little bit of pressure to Chazy, and Bissonette caresses an easy one. Bissonette has a nice foot, doesn't he?
Sure does. That thing went.
Yeah, he really didn't even put any. Didn't look like he put a whole lot into that, and it went the distance. He's not a very big guy, but he's pretty powerful. Very very good athlete, Kyle is. So that's going to be interesting to see how they do that tiebreaker for the girls with Lake Placid.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm thinking it might be total goals for the year, but I'm purely guessing at this point.
A good move by Poitras, get by Huddig.
Good hustle.
Being challenged by 15 Gowdy, gets by him, and Poitras goes over to Rogers. Rogers goes over to Bouye. Bouye with some space, being challenged by Brooks, and Bouye lets one go from distance and harmlessly into the arms of Justin Lapeer. And he's going to let his team get set up with 16 minutes and 20 seconds left of this 8-0 lead that Chazy has. I don't think Elizabethtown has a chance for this game. They might be seeing each other in Class D, and that is to nobody.
Is Joe calling the game again? Huh? Is he calling the game? It never happened before he called the
game. Good job, Joey Tremblay. I remember that.
Yeah, 3-0.
Well, good move by Hooper.
Hey, Calvin? 3-0. Put a fork in it. It's over. Yeah, it's over.
Cool. Justin.
Plus, we'll remind the fans that listening, that would have
Oh, we'll
been a
have to
state
do it.
championship game.
Yes. They did come back and win. I did call that, though, too. I called that right. I said the boys will be back next year. They
You
were.
did?
They say. Right, sometimes.
Right now in Section 3, Poland is in number 2 in the state. Chazy's 1, and Hamilton's number 15. That's the latest polls out in the state.
Okay.
So I'm thinking Hamilton might have lost a little bit last year.
Well, they lost Thompson.
They lost, the
You know
year
that?
before was Cranack. last year was
Cranack
Thompson.
and Thompson, and then they lost Cranack, and now they lost Thompson. So,
I forgot who their sweeper was really strong that year.
oh, they had Joe. Oh, he was a tank.
Taranto or something like that?
Yes.
Well, he was awesome.
Oh, he was tough.
Yeah.
He was a bull. He was one mean dude on a soccer field. So, then Jake Kennedy kind of mishandles it, and number 13, Tompkins, is the speedster. Oh, good job by Botten to thwart that attack.
Been saying this all year, but Botton's been solid.
Yeah. He and Justin Brothers are no better in the league. Really, there isn't any. They had a damn team of all-stars, Joe.
Well,
You know, what are you going to
you
do?
really do. And
I was mentioning before the game that
they won't all be recognized when it comes down to
Well, no, you're not.
You can't, but they could be.
you have, especially this year with
Go
a
on the other side.
heavily senior-laden team that Chazy does have.
13 seniors this year.
How many are starting now?
Well, I thought there were 7, but we'll see.
And Poitras and Rogers heading to the bench for a well-deserved rest. Each one has a goal to their credit this evening, and some nice goals at that. We're at the 13:30 mark left in this game with Chazy up 8-0. They have only scored 1 goal this half compared to the 7 first-half goals. They put no doubt in anybody's mind who's going to be winning this evening.
6 starters, and David Poitras coming off the bench, one of the first ones, so 7.
Rogers too.
I counted him as a starter.
No.
You got Poitras, 1.
Garrow and Morris going at it a little bit, but big shirt says play on. And Richard Pilon trying to get a goal, and he might have one here. If Richard can just shoot the ball. Come on, Richard, let's go. Richard can just shoot the ball, but he is well defended.
Okay, Joe, to answer your question,
Yes.
8 counting 2 coming out, 6 starters and 2 coming off the bench.
Wow.
So 8
So they-
quality players.
They lose, yeah, I would say.
Which kid? What about the other kid? Other kid.
Oh, Bissonette come off his line, and he pretty lucky to come up with that ball. I had it bounced out a little bit.
Keeper. Mike. You're in no man's land, right? They played the ball past you. Right?
Coach McCullough does not stop coaching, even though he does have an 8-0 lead. He will still keep coaching. Trent Blaze trying to get his nice white uniform dirty for Chazy, number 29, the other keeper. And there's Tommy Tebow getting some minutes over to Joey Bouye for Chazy. Bouye trying to go wide, find Pilon, goes off his foot, and he's still retains possession, but Bouye comes up with it. And a nice little play by Morris, Joel Morris for Elizabethtown, trying to come in and attack. He looks for number 15, Gowdy. Gowdy being challenged by Ryan, and Gowdy just kind of sends an innocuous little shot to Bissonette, and Bissonette throws it out here to Trent Blaze, number 29. Blaze, a little bit of a weighted pass back to Brendan Ryan, playing defense, and Botten, the anchor man, kicks it downfield. And Dylan Garrow loses the ball to Huddig, who gives it up to Morris. Morris taken down by Lapierre, but a lot of times they will call the bigger guy for the foul, and they're going to have a foul. Alec Lapierre getting some verbal extracurricular that he really didn't mean to. Alec, Nobody didn't really have to say anything. Everybody knew it was kind of not kind of a call, but he will probably hear about it a little bit from Coach McCullough, which I am sure he should. Because if I'm the coach, I'm going to have to give you a little bit. But in comes Zach Brothers. And a pretty good spot here for Elizabethtown with 10 minutes and 50 seconds left. And they have a wall here. It looks like Garrow, Bouye, and Blaze and Huddig lets go with a blast, but goes wide, and Chazy's going to be able to goal kick. And number 2 coming back into the game for Elizabethtown is Harwood. And coming off number 15, Cody Gowdy. Right now the shots on goal are favor Chazy 19 and Elizabethtown 2. And then Botten puts that powerful foot into it. Got to bounce around the middle of the field and kicked up to the foot of Huddig for Elizabethtown. And kicked downfield, but it goes off the foot of Ryan, and Zach Brothers just sends it back downfield. Number 14 picks it up for Elizabethtown. Deedham trying to find Huddig, but it goes on the foot of Chazy's Garrow, and he loses it over to Huddig. Huddig with the middle of the field with some space, and we have a player down, number 20 for Chazy, and he's hitting the field with his fist, and he's not looking very comfortable, Joey Bouye. And we are going to have a timeout called by Mr. Lambert, and we'll have a stoppage of play with 9:46, and we'll be back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, we're back to action after a injury timeout. Joey Bouye limped off the field, or I should say hopped off the field on one leg. He looked like he got dinged pretty good, so we hope Joey's okay. And Poitras back on the field for Coach McCullough's Eagles. Joey, could you hand me my paper over there, please?
Sure, Joe.
It's nice to, it's just nice to have Joey Trombley around.
You want some coffee? Some fries?
It feels good. This is a great power trip I'm on. Let me enjoy.
Here, let me come to your friends too.
Please do, please do. Calvin, is there anything you need? Okay, let me know, please. Joey Trombley will get it for us.
See that much younger Joey over the weekend?
No, I did not get a chance to. I was in Albany this weekend.
That was a nice contrast. No, this is what he does. He plays back 20 years ago when I'm with Northern Blacktopping.
30 years ago, but go ahead.
Well,
21.
so then the show
21 years
ends.
ago,
So what's he show? A current talking business segment. So you get the contrast. So thank you, Calvin, for that. I appreciate that. People are going, what the heck happened to him?
I want people to know you weren't always like this. You were once a nice looking young guy.
He was actually a nice guy, too, at one time. Yeah, we know.
It's called Mother Nature.
Can't fight it.
Oh, no.
Can't fight it.
It is what it is.
Huddig trying to get by Poitras, he does, and Bissonette coming off his line. He does end up with the ball. Bissonette rolls it out to Garrow, and I don't know if Garrow really wanted it, but he got it, and it goes over to Blaze, and Blaze trying to center it back to Garrow, but it goes on the foot of Tebow, and Tebow loses the possession to Joel Morris. And it goes back to number 14, Deedham. And it goes by a few Chazy defenders on the foot of the anchor, Mr. Botten. It's actually not a bad ball, but nobody there to get it for Chazy, and Pelon giving chase against Deedham. Pelon comes up with the ball. Like to see Richard score one in the senior year, so.
Now, tomorrow night's senior night. You going to be here, Joe?
Yes, I am. I will be filming. Because you're not going to be. Are you going to be here?
I'll be here for the first
All right.
time. Yeah.
All right, you can film it then. Well, we'll be pretty.
Calvin's not going to be here?
Calvin's not going to be here tomorrow night, no.
Really?
So he's left. He entrusted me with his camera.
I'll be here for the first half, and then I got to do the halftime senior thing. Then I'm off.
This halftime senior thing.
The senior.
Oh, that's right. You know, I have to be part of that, dude, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I forgot.
Shannon's part of it too, right?
Yes,
So,
Sean.
so it won't be on camera.
Where are you going to
You know
be?
why?
I'll be down there doing the announcing
Announcing what?
for the seniors, whatever they're doing for the seniors.
Why are you doing it?
I was asked.
who superseded everybody else to get to you?
Joe, I just got the phone call, so I can tell you.
A phone call.
Phone call, yeah.
Yeah, you better be careful of those.
Phone call came.
Somebody of prominence and importance.
I guess.
Okay,
I was
okay.
just asked, would you consider doing this? I said, sure.
Really?
They said they were going to ask you, but you were involved, so they couldn't ask you.
It's, yeah, somebody has to be here to film that. I'm glad they're not.
It looks like it won't be.
Just get a wide shot. That's all you can do.
We can do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here goes Hooper. And Hooper lets go with a shot, but
Coach Hooper come around at all?
I have not seen Fred this evening. I mentioned him a couple times during the broadcast, but I just haven't seen him.
Push the button.
It's possible. Maybe we can get Galen up here to video it, because it is a poignant moment in Chazy, you know, with the seniors and stuff. So
It would be nice getting you on camera breaking down. It would be nice.
oh, good moves by Morris. And the other Morris kind of kicks it in bounds, and Huddig comes up with the ball for Elizabethtown. And oh, here's a good ball for Hooper, and a good save by Bissonette. Like I said, I do like Elizabethtown for not quitting, and Drew going back on, Rogers going back on, number 12 going in, Denton, and number 17, Farrell for Elizabethtown. We're at the 5-minute mark. Left in this game, Chazy 8 and Elizabethtown 0.
Beautiful night for a game.
It's gorgeous out.
For mid-October?
Yeah, we'll take this. Sign me up for global warming.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
I'm in. I'm all in.
They can deny it as happening, but
Well, I know
It is.
it's happening. The question is, how come it's happening? That's the question.
just a natural phenomena. That's
It
all
is.
it is.
It
It's
is.
without a doubt. I agree. Yeah, the Earth has only died how many times? 20 or 30, so heated up, cooled down. That's why they call it Mother Nature. And Botten putting a foot into it and goes in the middle of the field off the foot of Morris into the foot of Jacob Kennedy for Eagles. He tries to center it. And number 11, Morris with the ball again. Over the foot ahead of Ryan. And Botten defends well, of course. He had a lot of space and he's trying to kick it downfield. And number 2, Harwood loses it. Trenton Blaze comes up with it. Trenton Blaze trying to center it, but it goes on the foot of Giroux for Chazy with some space. And Giroux with a nice, oh my, he will be called for offsides, and we want to see, a lot of people want to see Richard. And Coach McCullough, let's go with his normal Elizabethtown chair ride.
That was accidental.
That chair did fly.
Well, he actually kicked it accidentally. Coach McCullough is very happy right now down there.
Oh, no doubt. But I'd like to see Richard score a goal. I mean, he has played varsity his second year. He is with that one, and he's been a pretty good kid, Richard, over the years. JV and varsity soccer. It'd be nice to see him get one. Botwin sends one long, trying to find Pelon. Everybody, I think, is going to be trying to find Pelon here at the 3-minute mark. Let's see Richard score and Dylan Garrett. They see him pop one in this year. He's a junior, but Richard is a senior, and Richard doesn't have many more chances to get one. We're winding down to Rogers, fighting against Nokia Bailey. Rogers called for a extracurricular foul, I think, by Mr. Lambert. Kind of like Rogers' spirit. And Huddig from a long ways out on the far side. Kind of a low kick, and Bissonette easily gets that one. So there, Ken. And Giroux heads it for Chazy, and Huddig heads it for E-Town, and Morris kicks it for E-Town. Kind of hard to stay excited here at a game, but Elizabethtown would like to break this this shutout. They have not scored against Chazy this year. Their first game was 5-0, and this is 8-0. And I think Chazy McCullough called the dogs off. I think that second half, a little bit. He pulled Reynolds the second half, and boys just didn't really. I think Brandon scored a really nice goal off that a header from this assist from barrier. So that has been the highlight of it.
I got middle.
And Huddig's still directing. That's why I do like Elizabethtown. I gotta like them. They haven't quit.
No,
They want
to break the shutout.
I just want to. And last year there was a game that we had down here, and there was one team I felt bad for their keeper. The team just quit on them.
Oh.
And it was just
NAC.
yeah. And I didn't want to say the school's name, but what the heck with it?
Well,
You
what?
guys. It was just they quit on him. They quit on Musso. And it just you're getting beat, but gee, they had nothing left. Even and it's not in the Northern Adirondack team that I grew up hating. Respecting, you hated them, but you respected them. You wanted because you knew they were going to play hard, and it just, I don't know. I was just disappointed in that game, but it was a whole different season.
For them being Class C champions,
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect that.
No, but we're at the 22nd mark, and Chazy will win this game 8-0 against Elizabethtown on October 15th, 2012 at the George Brendler Field, and the hometown cable presentation. My name is Joe Poisson. We have Joey Trombley, guest speaker, up here in the booth this evening. Calvin Castine on the camera. And you can send donations to 1477 Ridge Road, Champlain, New York, 12910. 12919? Beautiful, 12919.
Don't send it to Altona.
I always get it messed up, so you can send it to Altona. They'll get to you eventually. It's amazing what our post office can still do, even though they are in a deficit. But you just go on Hometown Cable. You can go on Plattsburgh.com. You can go on Hometown Cable Network, and you can revisit Joey Trombley's pass or this game here, all the games that Calvin has done over the past 20-plus years. So we appreciate your donations, and it's like they always say at Hometown Cable, that's the way it was.